So, hello everybody, welcome back. I wanted to talk to you right now about several things that movies get wrong about hard times and other tips that might be useful for you because they are kind of real. So, before I continue, I wanted to remind you that down below is my email in case that you want to help me out by sending an Amazon gift card. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that one. And here I go with the topic. So whenever you see a movie that has a place that has been abandoned, and if it has concrete on it, is used a concrete, meaning if it has been abandoned, okay, for a while, and it has been occupied by people that is not, how to put it, nice, that place is very, very, very likely going to be filled with graffitis and also plenty of plants all over the place. It's not going to be just the place with concrete only. It's just not that. In fact, if you really want to know what happens to places when there is hard times, you want to see videos from channels that are about checking out abandoned places. And also things that movies get wrong about bugging out. Oh crap, there is a lot that the movies get wrong. And the first part is the part in which, most of the characters, you can see what they're doing, but you cannot experience what they are thinking. It's kind of like a different format. When you read a book, you can understand what is happening through the character's mind, which is different from what happens to the character's eyes. For example, when you're watching a movie, you can see what is going on around that person, behind that person, whatever, but you cannot see what they are experiencing. Now, if you're reading, you will probably be experiencing the other way around. You might not be able to see what the hell is behind that person, but you might be able to understand, what they feel. So anyway, so I'm going to continue with this idea that when you're watching a movie about hard times, there are several things that are going to be missing. For example, the smell of things. And I do mean the smell of things. This is because, movies have limits, but even the characters, they usually will say something about the smell when you, for example, open a refrigerator or something like that, but they will not say anything about the dead animals that are nearby or the forest that is being burned nearby. Because quite frankly, when there are hard times, you will see a lot of smoke that might be coming from wildfires near you or far away from you or whatever, and you are going to experience a lot of kalima. I have no idea how to say that in English. Is the fog that you have when something is burning near your house. So the kalima is kind of natural, meaning the smell that you have from a fire that comes from a barbecue is not the same as the smell of a kalima. And when you have a fire, like a fire in a house or something, then it will definitely smell different from a kalima. And when you have a fire that smells like that, oh crap, you know that you gotta get out or you gotta figure out what the hell, because that thing isn't close by. And in the movies, they don't tell you that this is going to be a problem for almost every single day. Other things that movie get wrong is the fact that when there has been a problem for a long time about a pipe that has broken in the middle of a street, you will see a lot of green kind of fungus thing going into that street. The whole street will be filled with that thing. And if if you were very, very, very lucky, and the water pipe that broke was from white water, Because if it was from black water, you will see parasites and animals and things that are literally like the Resident Evil kind of things, that they will be like the size of your fingers, or the size of your nails. And those things are like little drops and things, and some of them are even like the form of rats, and it's just horrible. And you can't get rid of them because they're feeding of the water that it is coming from below the street because the pipe is broken. Yet the water will permeate to the surface, and then you are going to be screwed. And if that happens in that area, you gotta leave. Because if for whatever reason, this is something that also the movies don't get right, and it is the fact that when you have certain things like a pipe broken near your street and there is no one there to fix it, then you gotta bug out that area, that entire area. And it doesn't matter, sorry about that. So anyway, movies don't get the point about the fact that animals are present in everywhere. Not just for horror scenes, but like for real. So one of the things that you will very likely face is snakes, scorpions, and stuff like that. And that is why people that have to run, bug out, whatever, mostly they will prefer the shoes that are kind of plastic. Because also in the movies, people are wearing shoes that are not, not appropriate for doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. For example, people will be wearing sneakers and stuff. That will happen, if you're not prepared or whatever. But your choice is always going to be plastic kind of shoes, because that way you are not going to get wet. You don't have to be worried about the smelly feet or anything, because you see, if your shoes get wet, you are going to be very uncomfortable, and the shoes are going to become heavy because they will not dry instantly. And also, if you have shoes that are made that they are very thin and they are made out of fabric, if you are stuck with an animal that bites you or something, that animal is going to hurt you. So you always try to wear plastic things or military kind of shoes. And by the way, this is important to understand as well. The movies do not show that there are going to be a lot of people that are mentally ill or whatever, and they are walking around no clothes whatsoever. So I mean that it's just one of those things that if you're walking, you kind of try to get the children to look at you instead of looking around, because if they look around, they might see this thing and they might ask you, what the hell? So you better be ready to answer, why is this person, looking like that? And then also, things that the movies don't get is the fact that clothing, it seems, that people are wearing things that are cool and they're sexy and they are fit, they're perfect fit and match. Reality is, clothing is not going to fit. Either it's going to be very big or kind of small, and then you will see the fat of the people, all over the clothing. Because clothing is one of those things that you can't afford if you're having a hard time. Come on, you can't buy food and yet somehow you have very nice clothes. I mean, come on. Even the craziest people here will probably spend all the money in a DirecTV or something like that rather than spending it on clothing. Unless, you have a lot of money. If you have a lot of money, of course you're going to buy very nice clothes and whatever, and that's going to be one of your priorities over food. And yes, I know, it's insane, but what can I tell you? We are human. I have been telling you all of the videos. We are not balanced about our emotions, and we are definitely not logical. So, whatever. So the point is that these movies keep showing that people are going to have nice clothes. Is not. people are going to be walking into places that have only concrete and stuff like that. It's not. The concrete is going to probably have a lot of graffitis and stuff like that, and it is also going to have a lot of needles and stuff that, drug addicts and alcohol and stuff like that in the floor. When you see these movies, you see the floors kind of empty. It's not like that. It's very likely going to be, you're walking into a lot of things that are in the floor, like Coke, Pepsi, whatever cans, people drink, and then whatever you store it in the floor. And you will see a lot of papers and stuff like that in the floor because nobody cleaned. And also, if you can see a movie, when people walk, and supposedly there is a lot of dust, you will see that you can't see their footprint on the ground. And if this place is supposed to be kind of like abandoned or whatever, you should be able to see the footprints when you move the camera around or whatever. And yet you don't. That means, in fact, when you are looking into a place, the first thing that you can tell if somebody was there or not because of the amount of trash that there is. And when people walk through all this trash, they're really like little like roads or something. It's not roads per se, but it's kind of like, oh yeah, you can see that somebody's, stepped on here and there, and kind of like that, And then you can kind of guess, what kind of person there was or whatever. So it's kind of one of those things that you just, kind of do. I know this because I have seen several videos on the abandoned places that have been documented in several places in my country, because they are companies that people use left or whatever, and they are industries, factories and stuff like that. And I can tell you right now that people will steal the toilets. If you find a movie where you have toilets and stuff, then it's probably not happening, because people will steal the freaking toilet, people will steal the freaking sinks, people will steal the windows. Because see, when there is a hard time and you don't have a house or whatever, you take all the glass that you can find in all the houses that are abandoned, because that will help you. And glass is very expensive. And glass is one of those things that if you break it, you need to replace it somehow. And if it is not being manufactured or whatever, then you need to figure out where the hell to get it. So if there is an abandoned place that has glasses, you go there with a glass cutter or something, and then you get that freaking glass, and then you put it in your house. And then you leave that place without windows and without glasses. So, it's one of those things that these movies do not get. I do not know if it might be because people think that, when everybody leaves or whatever, they will leave everything behind. And that might be the case if it is like a Chernobyl or something like that. But if it is hard times, then I can tell you right now, you are not going to find frames, like door frames or window frames or whatever. First, people will take the glass, and then people take that thing. And then I can tell you right now, if that place is abandoned, you can't find furniture that works, and you can't find toilets, and you can't find sinks, because those things are expensive. And if you can, take them apart and take you home, most people will do that. Because, if something breaks in your house and that thing is not being manufactured, then people will just take it from whatever place they can, and then they will do a mismatch, meaning your bathroom might be blue, and then you ended up having a toilet that is red. And that happens a lot in the places that you are having, because you don't have choices in color, and you don't have choices. It's like, okay, you need a toilet, we found you one. That's it. You don't get to choose, okay, it has to be a gray toilet because my bathroom is gray. No, it's not, If it is a toilet and it fits, you take it. It doesn't matter what color it is. And in fact, houses are going to be built kind of like that, So it's kind of like those little details that from somebody that has a perspective on how other people will react to things, that will make a difference. Unless you're telling me that, like, like it was like a Chernobyl thing and then everybody left, and everything is intact, then I can understand that one. But if it is another kind of disaster where people are actually nearby and they are just leaving, but there are still people nearby, then I can tell you right now, people are not going to stop drug addictions and they need a place to do these things. So if it is concrete, then they're going to go there and it's going to be all graffiti everywhere. And, even abandoned houses might have graffitis on them because people will take them for smoking and for doing other illegal things or whatever. And when that happens, you will have a lot of trash in the floor, and you will have all kind of things that are different. And like I said, if that thing is near a pipe that has broken, then the roads are going to be completely different from this thing. And the smell is something that people need to take into consideration, because it will water your eyes and it will give you allergies, and sometimes it can even make you aware of certain things, like somebody nearby. So all of these things, is very difficult for a movie to get it, because the point of the movie is trying to get you to romanticize the idea, or maybe it's just that they are not showing you the reality of how bad things are going to be. I mean, if you're walking and you realize that all of the people, literally almost everybody, have problems with the clothing, then, it's a thing. And, it's important to understand as well that the clothing are not going to be a matching situation. For example, let's say that you get a t-shirt that is yellow, and then your shoes might be red, and your jean might be broken or tear or whatever, and it might be, not your size. And like I said, if you don't have money to buy food and you don't have resources to get food, how the hell are you going to produce resources to get clothing? It's just not going to be in your priorities. Also, movies usually do not get right the relationship with other people. So, for example, when you are, tense. Okay, I can tell you right now, when you're having a hard time, 99, and I do mean 99. Hell, for all I know, it might be 100. 99% of the people are going to be in denial. I don't care how you look at it, every single person is going to act in denial. Here is why. We are humans, and we take a long time to try to figure out how something could happen. And the denial part comes like this. I'm blaming you for this because I have no idea what the hell happened. And the other denial part goes like this. Okay, this isn't happening. I'm acting like normal because I'm going to close my eyes and this is a freaking dream and everything will be okay when I open my eyes again. And the other denial part will be kind of like this. Okay, so this is not a dream and I don't know who is to blame or whatever. And at this point, people are going to be like, okay, I am freaking out because I have no idea what is happening. And when that happens, you will have three groups of people. And in the movies, they don't depict this very well. The people that blame other people, that one they get right, kind of thing. Then the other ones that say, doesn't matter, we have to get out of here, whatever. Oh, hell no, that doesn't happen that fast. Like I said, there is a period of time in which, like, everybody will be in shock. And when you are in shock, it's like nobody knows, I mean, the movies that say something like, everybody says, do you know what happened? And then everybody is responding, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just saw whatever the hell you saw. And then people will be asking 20 times the same question to the same people because they are expecting somebody else to know because they don't accept whatever the hell happened. So it's like, let's say that you were, in a hospital, and then, you are in the front row, getting, all the people that is coming through the door. So every single person in the door will be saying, "What happened? Do you know?" And then you're like, "No." And then the other person is going to be, "What happened? Do you know?" "No." "What happened? Do you know?" "No." And then everybody will be like, "Does anybody know what the hell is happening?" And then everybody is going to be like, "No." And 5 minutes later, "Does anybody know what the hell happened?" And it will continue for a while until somebody says something like, "Okay, there is a theory about this, and then there is a theory about that, and then there is a theory about this," until, and then everybody will be speculating everything. And this speculation is going to get every single person on edge. Like, really, there is no way in hell that you can go through that without being on edge. Because it takes a hell of a lot of self-control to try to get through yourself without not knowing what happened, when is it going to be fixed, and how the hell is it going to be fixed, and all of these things. And those, not all the movies that I have seen will get that, It's the emotional part in which you are like, what, kind of like that. And it repeats itself like several, a couple of days at least until what the hell. And then somebody posts, and here's the next phase in which somebody will put a video about what happened. And when that video is up, then at that point, everybody will panic. At that point, every single person will know what happened. And at that point, most people will accept things. And once they're accepted, you either panic or you don't panic. If you don't panic, it's because either you don't care or you think that you are going to be okay, which is like half. Literally, half of the people will be like, "Okay, we can manage this." And the other half of the people will be like, "Oh my God, what the hell, blah, blah, blah." And then you gotta figure out how the hell to blend in and be kind of balanced between those two groups. See, movies do not speak things like in that order. Movies go like, this happened, everybody accept that, and then you are like, what? Oh, hell no. Nobody accepts this in real life, It's like, hell no. People will either panic immediately because they don't know what is happening, or they will just be like that, kind of like asking for a long time until there is one proof about what the hell is going on. And at that point, everybody will kind of like follow up with the government thing in line or whatever, or they will have a plan or something, and then other people will be totally blank. People that are totally blank will be like, "Oh yeah, there is a fire, in the block nearby, but, the firefighters will get it. I'm just going shopping." There will be people like that. I think that about 40% of the people that I have met are going to continue their life like normal. Like if nothing happened. Really. "Oh, there is a zombie attack somewhere." Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, have you seen Venezuelan videos in which, there was a meteor, like literally the meteor came running, into the earth thing, and then it crashed, and then it burned a hell of a lot of a baseball field that was near the edge of my city. And people just looked at it and said, "Oh yeah, we continue." So everybody continued partying and doing everything like if nothing happened. And hell, I think that right now, most of the people in the world are continuing their life like if nothing happened. And that is a way of denial. That is a way of you saying, this isn't real and I don't care. I'm going to continue my life because this is not going to affect me. Okay? And that is not being shown in the movies. See? Because in the movies, most of the characters are kind of like into the place of already accepting things, which I told you is not happening. Or people are acting like an apocalyptic thing, which I tell you, nearly half of the people is not going to be like that. Nearly half of the people is going to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to the office right now to pick up something." And then you're like kind of like, "Yeah, don't you know that we just had an earthquake and there is no power there?" And then, they're like, oh yeah, I just have my flashlight, don't worry, I'll get through it, kind of like that. So so yes, I know people will surprise you, because I think that this is a cope mechanism that we have, in our minds. It's like, okay, it's like that. And by the way, when you are hurt in the movies, people are hurt, and they kind of recover very, very fast from things. That doesn't happen in real life, If you get shot, you are not going to be recovered in 24 hours. Oh, hell no. If you have a broken rib, you can walk and you can run. Yes. Yes, I know, because we have had broken ribs like hell. I think almost everybody have had a broken rib for a reason. And it's going to be very painful or whatever, but it's something that you don't see in the movies. Like, okay, it's like you don't have pain, and you're like, what the hell? It's painful, so you're not going to move that fast and stuff like that. People are not going to be doing that. Even if you were on drugs, I don't think that you will be able to do this unless you are in the group of like 1% of the population, which is always drunk or high. And quite frankly, those people, they are like rubber. You can just throw them in the middle of I don't know, from a building, and they will probably bounce back, I don't know why, but whatever. The people that have drugs in their systems, they have a different kind of healing process. And whatever. But the point is that, all of these things are important for you to understand, because if you're expecting people to panic right away, no. If you're expecting people to accept things, no. If you're expecting people to do, no. If you're expecting the road, no. If you're no. You have to try to understand that movies, despite things like if they were Chernobyl, and movies are like based upon something like that. And no, hard times might not necessarily be like Chernobyl thing. Hard times might be something like what we are having, a very long economic problem, or a very long war, or a very long situation in which, you don't have water, you don't have, things, and then you kind of get used to it, and then you're fine with it, kind of thing. So I just wanted to let you know that, because you probably wouldn't understand. Also, the second part of the movies that probably people don't get in the movies is that most people, and I do mean most people, around 2/3 of the people, during a disaster or problem, they will settle, meaning they will not want things to get to prosperity thing. It's like people will accept that there is no water, and then either you can make money from it, or you can try to figure out what the hell to do, whatever, and then you are not going to be complaining about it, because it's kind of like you are now too busy trying to solve the problem, and then you are not going to consider that to be a problem per se. So it's kind of like what they are saying in the documentary about the social dilemma documentary, in which people are saying, okay, so now we have algorithms that will help people understand better themselves and this and that per se is a problem. But people are like, why is that a problem? So 2/3 of the people are going to be asking, why is this a problem? And then 1/3 of the people is going to be like, oh hell, this is hell, we are going to hell. And then if you belong to the 1/3 of the people, you are going to be in for a very good ride, because you will not know what the hell to do. And you will have to learn how the hell to roll with it, without losing your own set of mind, which is going to be very, very difficult. And these things are not depicted in movies. Probably because the characters do not go through this thing, or because of I don't know, something else. But, I just wanted to let you know that, so that if you're thinking that movies are realistic or something, no. Some of them might be, but, it's just, no. If you want to watch what will really, really, really happen if you had to go out or whatever, I will suggest seeing YouTube videos about The people that do checking into places for abandoned places, and they decided to do challenges of overnight spending alone in a forest, or alone in an abandoned house, or alone in an abandoned thing, or whatever. Oh hell, one night, and they can tell you in the video what they are thinking, what they're worried, what what they think that it's a bad idea, but they do it anyway, or whatever. And they can tell you right now that none of them will sleep. None of them is happy. None of them is okay. And none of them is, not without worried about what happened to their car, what happened to these, and some of them might be like, oh crap, I'm carrying too much, or I'm carrying too little, or I wish I had this, or I wish I had that. Then, you can learn from their actual experience. And that one might be able to teach you more about disasters than an actual movie. Because these people tell you, this is too heavy, I can't carry it, I need a caddy, I can't carry a caddy. You put this, and then you have the fingerprints, you have these, you have that. I mean, there are several perspectives, and each person will see things entirely different from the next person. There is people, I haven't seen one done by a woman, by the way. But I have done that. So I'm going to probably do a video about that later. But right now, I'm focusing on the videos that I am late or due, because, they are like a series, and I probably have done only one or two. So thank you for watching, and I hope that this was helpful for you.